You'll notice here we're on combined transformations, page 1. Instructions here. Consider the parent functions below. There's one, that's absolute value. Use the tables to sketch their graphs. The first thing we're going to do is plot these points. And you notice we end up with something which looks like this. There's a parent of absolute value. Come over here, -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, we get 3, 9 out here. And there's a parent function for our parabola. Okay, now we've talked about how to do these when we just do one transformation, either right or left. Now what we're going to talk about is what happens if we do more than one of them at a time. And that's what we're talking about here. And the second one here is, does the order matter? That's what we're going to be investigating in this page and what you're going to be investigating below you. Okay, now here's some stuff we've done before. Absolute value. You should by now know that when I subtract inside like that, that's going to move me to the right 3 units. This will move me up 2. This will be right 3, up 2. Okay, now you'll notice in here, now we're moving it again to the right 2, but we also talked about this negative. It's outside, so it reflects it across the x-axis. So what you guys are going to do on this is go through each one of these, okay? And you're going to pick out on all of these things what each one of these does and then how they act in combination. So the thing we want to know is, does order matter? In other words, multiplying x by 3 first and subtracting 4, does that make a difference? Or should I subtract 4 first and then add 3? Or what do I do about this thing? All right? In this one, I actually have a bunch of different transformations because that gives me a horizontal shift. This gets me a horizontal compression. This gives me a vertical shift. This gets me a vertical compression. And this negative outside gives me a negative, or it reflects across the x-axis. So be sure you do these things. I want you to go in and predict how each one will do. This is just what I've done. So come in and pick these things apart. Again, like everything else, these things are really a bunch of little problems all put together. So you go in and you pick it apart. What does this do? Okay. What does this do? And then what does this do? And predict what the graph would do. What you should do when you look at this is predict that, okay, the graph is going to be shifted to the right 6, okay, down 4 units, but it's also going to be stretched horizontally. Okay, it's going to make it a little bit thinner. On this one, you should recognize left 1. I'm going to do a vertical stretch, which should do it, but this should also reflect the thing. This is what I want you to do. You're going to graph each transform along with its parents. You want to compare what the function looks like relative to its parents. Then compare your observations, okay, for each one of these things. They're going to behave sort of similarly. This is going to be V-shaped, and this is going to be U-shaped. But other than that, they're going to behave very, very much the same. Then I want you to record anything you find that appears to apply to all the families. And here we're specifically looking at the type of transformations. Translations, okay, dilations, vertical stretches, horizontal stretches, and reflections. So So anything that goes on to both of these, I want you to record it in the thing, and then you're going to have to come in and generalize all of this out. So the next 2 pages, what you're going to actually do is come in and explore all of this stuff and make notes on it.